I'm very pleased to be interviewing Yaniv Davidson, who's the founder of Tunity. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
So let's start with your background. How did you get to where you are today?
So I studied engineering as a bachelor degree. I worked for Intel in R&D for a couple of years. We did algorithms for cellular processors. Then I was pulled out by a couple of investors. They had an idea also in the mobile space, but more on the homeland security and intelligence space. Managed that startup for a couple of years, then came to the US to do my MBA at Kellogg School of Management. Worked for BCG for a couple of years, a consulting firm, did a lot of digital and consumer strategy, and then came to New York to be the VP of Business Development of a startup called My Supermarket. We're backed by WPP. And there I saw a lot of how much money brands spend on TV and advertising on TV, and how much data they can potentially get from the internet and everything that's online. Along with my travelings for BCG and seeing people at the airports, and I started thinking about Tunity. So I left My Supermarket, started Tunity a couple of years ago with a co-founder. She's a technical co-founder, our CTO today at D. And this is where I got now. I've been doing this for a couple of years, and hopefully 2016 is going to be the big breakthrough year.
So tell me a bit about Tunity. What exactly is it?
Sure. So in the US especially, but all over the world, there's a lot of TVs in public places. So airports, sports bars, gyms, anywhere you wait, hospitals. And in the US, according to Nielsen, almost 10% of viewership hours is out of home in all these places I just talked about. The experience for the viewers is terrible because most of the time you can't hear it. And on top of that, networks and advertisers can't really know who's watching what and where. I mean, there's studies, generally who's watching, how many people are watching, and you can see different networks trying to quantify that, but nobody has the technology or the ability to actually measure these people. So what we do in Tunity, we created a computer vision and deep learning based technology that lets anyone scan the TV for 1 second. We detect the channel, detect the timing, and we stream the audio directly to their mobile phones. And basically what we enable the consumer or the user to actually get a better experience, actually when you're sitting at the airport, hear that CNN TV and get the audio. And we're allowing networks and advertisers to measure that 10% of the market, which is only 10% of the market. It's a 10% of a $70-80 billion a year market. And that's what we're focusing on now. In general, what we want to do with the technology is we want to enable any user to connect with any visual content wherever they are, at home, out of home, digital signage, digital out of home. Whatever you see, you'll be able to scan, we'll detect the content, and we'll be able to stream not only the audio, but any type of synchronized content or content that relates to you and to what you're inquiring about or you're trying to connect with. And now we're focusing, like I said, on measurement of TV out of home and creating another network that connects every viewer to additional content, advertising.
How would a potential viewer know and access Tunity if they're sitting in an airport lounge?
Yeah, so,
for example.
Yep. So we put the app in the App Store and the Play Store about a year ago, just as a beta, because a lot of the machine learning and deep learning requires a lot of data to train the algorithms. And also everything runs in the cloud, so we needed to make sure we're creating a platform and a system that's completely scalable. On Sunday at 1:30 p.m. when football starts, we can ramp up relatively quickly. We didn't start marketing yet. We have a few partners that we're piloting with, and we actually got some nice traction. We already get thousands of users using us every day. The idea of marketing and getting to which by the way already enables us to extract data that's statistically significant, viewership data. Nielsen uses between 20 and 40,000 set-top boxes, and we have already more than this number of users. The way we think about marketing, we first want to bring perfect product out there We already have a few hundreds of thousands of users that came organically through, their even bars and gyms that actually have signs on their TVs saying, hey, if you want to hear the TV, download Tunity. And we're slowly spreading the word. We're growing really nicely organically. I think the more we work on the partnerships with the networks and with the brands and advertisers, the more of the value chain we'll see the value of Tunity, and it'll push us outside. Like I said, for the data product, I think we're already good on scale. The next step would be to create an ad network, a mobile ad network that will enable the brands to actually, on top of the generic TV advertising that they buy, for example, think how valuable it would be for Budweiser to know that you're in a bar right now, and not only that, to know that they can actually reach out to you and say, hey, try our new beer or new product, and we can do that. So in order to create that local, location-based mobile advertising platform, that's how we're going to grow scale. And through most of the scale will come through partnerships, because the whole value chain. If you think about venues like gyms or sports bars or restaurant, all the way through networks and advertisers, they all have the incentive to kind of grow the number of people that use Tunity. Each and every one of them for different reasons, but this is the way we think about distribution.